One single tweet, one single tweet triggered the Bleach fan base.
I don't want peace. I want problems always.
And we're also going to talk about this gentleman right here, Akira Kanai, who is a manga editor for one particular series that you may know very well, Vinland Saga. And he has some interesting thoughts about telling stories to an international audience. So Akira Kanai recently did an interview with Manga Passion. And we are fully aware that not only is anime popular, but manga is very popular as well, and it has grown beyond the shores of Japan to international popularity. So a very interesting question was asked about this situation, and he also had a very interesting thoughts or viewpoint when it comes to manga and piracy. So let's start off with what the first question addressed. So the question is, and I quote, "You yourself have overseen several internationally renowned works with titles such as Vinland Saga, Agent, Demi-Human, and Planetes. To what extent do you already think about the potential international success of a manga in the feedback you go through with the mangaka, and perhaps try to make it more accessible to audiences outside Japan?" And basically his response was, interesting stories will usually be understood regardless of whether you come from Africa, Chile, or Greenland. He asserted that the fundamental human experiences and emotions are universally relatable. And so stopping the work just because it deals with a problem that is too Japanese does not make any sense to him. He also mentions that basically the idea of trying to please the Japanese audience as well as an international audience does not make sense as well. Here's what he says: "I don't think it's possible to create works that are exactly in the middle," and we are talking about appealing to a Japanese audience or appealing to an international audience. It continues, "Nor would such works really appeal anywhere. Take Skip and Loafer for example, which is about a girl who comes from the countryside, Japanese countryside, and moves to the Japanese city of Tokyo alone to study at a good high school. I think people all over the world will certainly understand her feeling of insecurity in the same way. That's why such works tend to appeal to an international audience."
Correct!
So now we come to the interesting part where he mentions about manga piracy. And this was based on the question, to what extent do you think global exchange is important for the medium of manga? And he had a lot of thoughts to express about it, and of course the topic of piracy came up because that is one way in which manga has been able to be made available to many people. So his thoughts on it is very interesting. He said, and I quote, "It would be nice if they didn't just read the legal printed copies, but paid a bit of money for them. But if they don't have money and there are a lot of printed copies, I think the pirated copy is okay for now. I could be beaten to death by a board member for saying that right now." So what are your personal thoughts about this interview, especially the piracy part? Let us know in the comments. So moving on to the main point of this video. One single tweet by a Boruto fan make the veins in the heads of Bleach fans pop with anger. And what is the tweet in question that we are talking about? You may have glimpsed it in the thumbnail, but here's what it says. "You just need to know basic anatomy and how to pour ink all over a page to draw the Bleach panel. This is what bleachers hype up when they say he's the best artist. The Boruto panel is much harder to draw."
Oh hell no!
So basically the drama is that the art style of Boruto done by Kishimoto is way better. That's what the fan is saying, not me. Is way better than the style of Kubo, who is responsible for Bleach. And they are using this as an example, what you are seeing on the screen, where you have on the left the picture of Sarada Uchiha, and it's compared to on the right, and this name I practice over and over again, Yuha Baha on the right hand side. Please correct me if I'm wrong, Bleach fans. So basically it's saying under Sarada, dynamic angles, shows more of the body, easy to read choreography. While for Yuha Baha, it says here just sitting on a chair, only draws the limbs and head, covers the rest with ink. Bleach fans' answer to this is that this is Kubo's art style, because especially for one of these characters that we just mentioned, is the intentional use of minimalism, big words, and dark tones to create a specific atmosphere and mood for that particular character as an example. So they basically argue that Kubo's artwork effectively captures the essence of his characters and storytelling through its distinctive art style. But of course, this is the section of the video where we have to check out the tweets that Bleach fans said about Boruto fans. So one person said the definition of cherry picking. Two types of panels that aren't comparable. Honestly, I'm tired of fans of a series dissing the art of another series. Don't you have anything better to do? Grow up.
Do me a favor, please. Get out of here. Get out of here, man.
Then we have someone saying, why are you comparing a fight scene to someone sitting down? And that's the problem. Many of the Bleach fans are complaining about that tweet that we mentioned at the beginning part of this video, this section of the video, because the argument is focusing on a single panel from each series, and they are making Boruto fans, we are talking about, making a broad judgment about the artist's skills. That is very misleading and does not do justice to their overall body of work. And that's the complaint basically these Bleach fans are having. But we will be wrapping up with one final tweet which says, Boruto Twitter fans must either have degradation kinks or are children, because I don't think I've seen a fandom set themselves up before crying about getting attacked quite so much. Like seriously, the TikTok Boruto fandom is so much better than the nonsense on Twitter. Now, of course, we always want to remember the disclaimer that not all fans of a particular series are dumb, crazy, or like to start fights over works of fiction. But it's interesting in doing the research for this particular topic, I stumble upon another instance of a Boruto fan trying to, how to put it, flex on others, because this one was pretty hilarious if you look at this particular picture that I'm putting up on the screen. So we see again some random Boruto fan is putting up comparison again, where we see is a Boruto AMV which got 10 million views, and the Crunchyroll Gear 5 Luffy survives a direct impact, getting 3.5 million views, and the person says at the top, random Boruto AMV anime music video got many views than Luffy's hypest fight.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it. I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.
So what do you say? Do you say that Boruto fans are right, or do you say Bleach fans are right about this issue? Or do you fall under this third category?
I do not have time for this!
So I'm sure you're tired of hearing about these anime fans complaining over works of fiction. But I have another video on the screen that talks about some positive anime news about an individual, an anime fan, who performed an act of heroism. But in order to get to that video, don't forget you have to click on the subscribe button. So that's it. Go on.